Hello, hello, folks. How's it going? Joe here. We're going to get started. We're going to do some runs at the Metagame Challenge today. I'll cut these up for YouTube after. We'll see how many we'll do depending on, obviously, the games. This format is kind of combo focused, so we're going to try to play some fair decks, things that I like to play, and we'll go from there. But let me get the recording started, and we will jump into it. Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today is Metagame Challenge Day. We're going to do some runs. This month's Metagame Challenge is Timeless Best of 3. The format where you can lose on turn 1 before you even play a land. This is where broken things go to take place. I haven't played too much of the format recently. Some of the appeal to me is kind of lost with it being heavily combo focused. The decks that are like towards the top aren't decks I generally enjoy. Belcher, Show and Tell, stuff like that. We're going to be trying today without playing Chrome Mox. I don't want to use the Mythics on it necessarily, but we'll see how the games go. If we need to play Chrome Mox, I will craft the Chrome Mox and play. But we're going to try out with 2 decks to start out. The first one is going to be a port of the modern Blink deck. And we are going to be playing, I call this a fair deck in the sense you're trying to still win through some combat, but it's still you got to do broken things in this format to compete. So this is the Blink deck. We have Overlord of the Baelmerk, Solitude, as well as Grief. For hand hate, you have Dollmaker, which can blink the various things, as well as Felia. So kind of a fair package. You have hand hate with Juggernaut Peddler, Bowmaster's in here, Demonic Tutor helps you find stuff. And then you have the broken stuff of turn 1 Dark Ritual into Sorin, into Saint Alenda. An Alchemy card, yes, Alchemy, but this is a very strong card. Lets you basically, it's like Sarah's Avatar with free casting things that gain you 4 life, and then you just make big tokens. But you can lock, most of the time you're getting like Faith's Feathers to lock down an opponent's thing. If you're ahead on board, like turn 1, you Inspiring Cleric to make a big board, or invoke the Divine, Artifact Enchantment Hate, and then Ritual Rejuvenation, just cycling kind of effect. With Overlord, you're able to fetch Witch Enchanter and Bogart Trawler, so MDFC lands that get you some value. The sideboard, we have Deafening Silence for the combo decks. We have Swords to Plowshare, Removal, Ghost Vacuum, Graveyard Hate, Disruptor Flute, Combo Hate, stuff like that. Another Juggernaut Peddler is hand hate. Anything storm based against Belcher, you can make their lines come into play tapped. Skyclave as removal, that's flexible. Another nice blink target. I want to try this. It might be wrong to just not play another Deafening Silence, but against Belcher, you either cheat this in with Sorin or you just cast it and they mill out because they have no lands in their deck. So you kind of reverse spy them in that case. And then Wrath of Skies for like the energy decks, stuff like that. We'll give this one a shot. Again, this is kind of the quote-unquote fair deck of the format. But I like playing these Sorin piles. They're fun to me. And we'll see if we can not lose as early as turn 1. We will do this, then we'll probably jump to energy, and then depending on how it plays out, we'll jump in for another kind of game. Match 1 in these can sometimes be a bit of a hodgepodge. It could be, you know, a tier 1 Timeless deck. It could be Cat starter deck Tribal. So we'll see what we get. And then as you kind of go on, the games get a little bit tougher. Break even is typically 2 wins where you kind of come out ahead of a pack. And then 3 wins onwards, you're basically banking. 7 wins is the golden spot where you win 30 packs. But we'll give this a go, see how it plays out, and kind of go from there. We're camping our rank for top 1200. I'm at like 600-ish on the ladder, so we'll get that restarted and then get our qualifier play-in goodies for next month. But welcome to all those in the chat today. Let's jump into it, see who we are. Danny is Beast. So hands obviously prioritizing the Sorin combo. This hand here doesn't really do much. So I think we are going to mulligan. I think we keep this. Probably put back Solitude. Not a great hand, but all that said, not bad. Okay, so I could Ritual Grief next turn, so I think we just do that. I'm gonna just fetch for a Surveil Land here. This just looks like starter deck Convoke. So I still think we... This is where I was saying, like, your first game sometimes can just be a bit of a non-game. Another Ritual here. I think we do this. Grief will give us information. It also gives us blockers. It's just a pump effect. They're at 2 lands, can't really cast anything. I think we just get rid of the things that give them multiple creatures. We can deal with like one big creature. That's not really an issue, but we are looking at a bit of a starter deck here. I think we do... Just gonna go wide here. Bowmaster does a nice job. So I could blink here and get the value. I think what we do, we attack here. And then just Bowmaster's basically free value here. We get them to throw away 2 cards, and then I have this as a backup. This match is going to be just more kind of going through the fair game plan. Peddler. I think here... If I get one more land, then I can just hardcast Solitude, which might be better. Giving him the Juggernaut versus just this. A Dark Ritual, can I play both? No, because I'm short a white. So we'll just blink Grief here. Kind of go fair plan, eat away at their hand. We'll get rid of the dogs. Grief here with the additional line of text. It's an artifact. Keeping this for now. If we hit Sorin, it could be good. Sure. Could just Solitude here. Ritual Solitude. Ritual 3 mana Solitude, so that is probably good. At this point. They might get a little aggressive in attack, but we're just trying to find like Sorin or something. Bailmark could be good, another blink effect. They want to trade here, that's fine. Graveyard here. The one downside of this version versus some of the others, we don't have One Ring or Necro. Whenever it attacks creatures you control, get +1/1. I'm getting close to just hard cast Alinda. Might have been right to hold this. Like, we've drawn more rituals than we've drawn anything else right now. So black, we need one more lands because this would be black 3, 6. Let's pass the turn here. Hey JPV, thank you. Have you done any runs today? Might have been right to play the Bogart, but it's a good Stonewall. At least it trades up. Let's go Burst Lightning here. Okay, cool. Let's cheat on some mana. I think here we'll just go Faith's Feathers. If we invalidate this, we can start attacking in at least. And just start pressuring him that way there. Because now Elendil just run away with it. Wrath the Skies would be something we'll bring in. Probably not Arcan, but Skyclave Apparition. Let's get aggressive here. I mean, them taking that out is fine because we'll gain a life. We'll just do this to get a Surveil land. Pretty much dead here. They can at least block the life gain. Here we'll get the Surveil. We've almost hit all our actual fetchable lines. No more lines. We're good for lines, I promise you. So they can technically survive for the turn, blocking on Elenda, pitching the Firebrand to target the Orc army. They instead chose to die, so we will let them die. The other line there was just going to get the last copy of Bowmaster in the side. So on this one, I'm going to bring in this, Wrath the Skies. Grief's okay, but not great. Ophelia can be reasonable against sweepers. Still want the combo. I think I'm just going to get rid of Grief. Doesn't block the best and it dies to their Burst Lightning. Bowmaster's fine. Probably going to get rid of Tutor. Then probably trim on a Reanimate. Might be better still to just keep the Peddlers at least go offense defense and it breaks them up a bit. They could get a little aggressive just going wide. I think having multiple bodies can be reasonable there. But let's run it like this and see how it plays out. Some of their like token enablers are spells, so Reanimate doesn't necessarily target them. All again that. Okay, so we got the combo, which is nice. We'll put back a Sorin here. Found our land. I'm actually going to keep that land just because it is a painless land. I'm gonna Bowmaster aggressively here, basically offer the trade. I have Reanimate for it, so that'll help after. But basically use this as a deal with 3 creatures. Untap, play Sorin. Lenda here. Gonna go with Inspiring Cleric, just gives me more blockers. Because then I can Bowmaster next turn, and they don't really have good attacks here. They can Burst Lightning my Sorin, but that takes their whole turn. Okay, Valor's Stance. So they did bring in answers for it. So this is a vampire. So here we'll bring Alenda back. I think this one, I'm just going to draw a card. We're kind of flooding with bad cards. Or in this case, they're not really going to do too much. But this should wrap it up there. So, beating up on the starter deck. Gain a bunch of life. I'll Overlord. Worst case, I hit Bowmaster. Big chunk of life here. We can hit Felia. We can hit any of our blink effects. We've just seen every Saint Alenda under the sun. Gonna hold this just in case they have anything. We don't need more lines. Hey, they can concede at any time. We're just here to not lose to some random nonsense. It's annoying because I just fell under the 50 life and I need it for the achievement. We're at 48. Okay, on the board. We got our freebie. Alenda's a little rude against these starter tokens. Like, that deck probably has a hard time in standard trying to beat up against some of the combo decks. Mind you, it might just like steal some games against like Belcher or something if they're a little loose with their Necros. They had a lot of ways to give haste and to go wide. Things like Swords to Plowshare don't work really well there. We'll do hopefully a real match. Mind you, if you give me 7 of these, I'll take the free packs. How's everybody in chat doing today? Anybody get any 7 wins? Any cool decks that they've been playing in the format? Yeah. Probably don't want to play against Belcher. Feel like that's our worst matchup. Show and tell we can bring in hate pieces, which is fine. Belcher can win before we even get a shot. There's the like build of this that you can do with Ephemerate, but a little worse. This isn't really a necessarily tier 1 deck. Any fast combo, you do have some interaction, but they can kind of beat you from that. You don't have permission, so things like show and tell, while you do have a discard, they can play ley lines, stuff like that to get around the discard. So it makes it a little worse in that respect. I just like playing this style of deck. So Luris, we have Grief, Reanimate, Blink. Okay, so this hand's sick. Okay, so we Grief, pitch Grief. Then we'll reanimate our Grief. Take their Orcish Bowmaster. So they have no cards. You can see it on my Untapped. It'll be up there. This is actually an interesting line. I can just take their Ajani and then give me one more turn. Because there's a chance that they drew another land.
Where shall we hunt today?
Exile up to one other target non-land permanent. It's controller. I want to just fetch because if I hit something, it could be okay. So if you go to my Untapped under events, you'll be able to see all the deck lists there. But I can pull it up on screen as well. Yeah, so bombardment. Shadowy Backstreet. Peddler's not bad. Lets me go offense here. Attic Prison. Kind of limited. I can take their Juggernaut. Okay, so that was a massacre. We like those. So this matchup, I want Swords to Plowshare. I want Wrath the Skies. I'll take you. I do think the Griefs are kind of bad in this matchup. Maybe. Like, we want to hit a Johnny. Maybe keep the Griefs in, take out the Reanimates. No, I need my Rituals. Take out my Reanimates. Probably keep out Demonic Tutor. It's a little slow. I like the Blink package. We are kind of... Maybe we trim one Felia. And one Grief. We don't have the Reanimate lines. I guess Peddler's still better. We could do this for a Johnny or for Bombardment, but with Wrath the Skies it also hits it, so we have to be mindful there. I think let's try this. That was a really nice start for us, but their deck's going to be aggressive, so we have to be mindful of how much we're pinging ourselves. They kept I think their keep was a little loose, 5 lands, because like they weren't playing anything on 1. There's a likelihood they drew more lands, so I think that's a mull on their side. But let's see if we could turn 1 our Sorn. This hand actually doesn't do anything. Like, we have to draw a Lenda here. I think it's a mulligan. We don't have any interaction. I'll keep this. Probably putting Overlord back. I think my plan, fetch Swamp, Ritual, Balemark, get something back, and then Dollmaker it. And then just try to use that to go into the combo. Ooh, okay, so this is interesting because I could grief here. Grief them. Takes their turn 2. I could try to set up the Elenda on curve, which can also be reasonable. I think we're just going to try to go for Sorin combo. It's just so strong. And then worst case, I then get Bowmaster to catch up. Black-white. They had a hand with like a lot of fetches last game. Okay, so they have a Johnny. Obviously, if they have bombardment, it's kind of bad, but got Bowmaster here. Would have been better, obviously, to get the grief that turn, but we still have the ability to attack in here. Depending what they do, we also have Bowmaster, ping. They'll have to decide if they want to flip a Johnny and flip here. They have static prison. It's a little annoying. Okay, so here I think we need to try to go for Sorin. Jeez. And not for the life of us find a Sorin. I'll have a Backstreet in the deck. I do want to thin the deck a bit. Amped Raptor here. Second Bombardment doesn't really do too much. It does make it better with like a Lenda, but I think we're probably just Faith's Feathering on a Johnny here. Their second play. Bowmaster my face. So let them decide what they want to hit. We'll respond. They'll respond, and that should shrink it down now. So my Bailmark still stays alive. And that's basically just what we want to do with this turn. I guess they can kill it still, so maybe a bit tricky. So now we just have to try to find it. We're in a little rough spot, but we've gone through like half our deck. Kind of annoying and haven't seen it. A third of our deck. Ritual. I don't have the untapped, so it doesn't work. Hey, I will take Skyclave. We're just trying to find the Sorin. It's hiding from us. We Sorin, we're in a good spot. Obviously, they could find another Johnny. Kind of a bit of an awkward one. They can Nightmare. They can Nightmare back the Ocelot's Pride. Trade here. Probably not. I mean, it buys me one more turn. Forces them to sack something real. Oh no. Here they can sack. Get back. Recast. They didn't gain life, and now they don't have anything in the graveyard. How do we want to do this? King Bowmaster, Skyclave Apparition. I could Witch Enchanter on the Nightmare. So what I do here, let's Ocelot's Pride. Get rid of the Ocelot's Pride. They sack. So here they have to sack both. I'm gonna get rid of the Nightmare here. They already have 2 bombardments, so I'm just not doing anything there. At this point, Dark Ritual or Sorin works. I have 1 Ritual in the yard, 2, 3. Maybe I should have. Okay, so now they take out my Witch Enchanter, or my thing. That's annoying. So I can Solitude Luris. We'll do that. That seems good. Well, that's annoying. So here, they have to decide by sacking it. They get it in the graveyard, but them having double this game was actually kind of annoying because we could have hit one of them, but the sack effect's been quite relevant. Just kind of dealing with our board. We may want to consider trading off Skyclave at some point if we draw the Wrath the Skies. I don't have... I have 1 Dollmaker left. Just in case we draw Wrath the Skies. Because they don't have the land necessarily. Okay, what can you do for me? Not much at this point, so we are just holding back, folks. Holding back. Really kind of unfortunate, just all our Sorins being in the bottom. There's definitely a line where we could have. I think the line is still try to get. I might just be dead here. They sack. Oh, depending what I get, I could get Witch Enchanter. Oh no, I'm just dead. The Luris has haste and they sack both. Okay, they got me. That was really unfortunate. Just never saw anything there. So they're bringing in a lot more discard. So I wonder if the reanimates hold a little bit more sense there. Belia seems bad. Let's run it like this. I mean, if we hit Sorin anytime in like those like 3 or 4 turns, we win that game. We are kind of stuck. Noticing like this as kind of a downside with this deck, I think we need the One Ring in this deck. Either that or Necro might still be a reasonable call. You do have ways to kind of gain life. You'd have to get off the... Alright, we'll keep this. Depending what they have, we have swords. I can bail Merc for the combo. I do think we need to be somewhat aggressive in just hitting their stuff here. Bowmaster. Get this going. We have Grief. That could hit something. I think we do this. Hitting on a Johnny or a Bombardment's important here. I don't really care about Bowmaster. They don't have black mana or a way to fetch it, so let's get rid of a Johnny here. Because then I can take their Bowmaster or I can take their Galvanic. That worked out a little bit better. They do have the way to Galvanic my Peddler in response. Or we can do that. That sounds cool. That sounds cool.
I have not survived millennia to stand down now. I have sired many warriors.
I think I'm gonna draw a card here. They can hit my Sorin. I'm gonna just keep this for now. No sense 2 for 1-ing. Like they could always respond by hitting Sorin. And then next turn I can do this. This can then hit the Juggernaut Peddler, but they need multiple Lancers. And 1 card in their hand they can't cast right now. Okay, so the Bowmaster come down. I have access to Wrath the Skies, which can be done for got getting Bombardment there is good. They can keep the Peddler. They kept a couple loose hands. The ones we're able to kind of disrupt have been good. Wrath the Skies can be a catch-up here. Peddler, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, that's good. So I'm going to get this so that they block everything on Alenda. And then I'll blow them out. Or if they choose not to, then that's also fine. That works for me. This one should be wrapped up. Alrighty. Zorn doing the work. Turns out if you play all the broken, fair mid-range. I do still think we need some sort of card advantage engine. Or just more overlords. So this is the deck for folks just tuning in. 2-0 with it. It's kind of a blink deck. I'd probably opt to get rid of the Felias and just up like the Overlord. That would probably be my call. Maybe play some Necros in here as an additional way. We do take quite a bit of damage, just given some of our lands and stuff like that. Necro does limit what we can do on the reanimate side, so things to kind of keep in mind as we play through this a little bit more. Opponent goes first. No companion. So this hand actually doesn't do anything. So I think we mulligan. The concern is we can't accelerate out. We can't really... Hand's also terrible. Alright, this is our keep. So this could be control. Oh, this is the Abzan pile. I have Grief I can cheat out. I have Felia that I might be able to surprise the Abzan Birthing Ritual deck. Here. Likely just do Felia, because then I could Dark Ritual into Grief. Esper. We'll get a Black Source here. Felia might work as some nice bait as well. Big Peddler. Eat at their hand, eat at their hand. Bowmaster come down. Swords? Ephemerate. I think that's fine. Gives us one more look. Eat at their hand a bit. They are going to get Peddler in play. So they're an Ephemerate pile as well, just Esper. Can do the blink here. One or two, like it depends on the other composition of your deck. Because they can often play Veil of Summer as well. And depending on how they're chaining. It's reasonable against like the combo decks, but it's probably not the best against energy. So it depends on what you're seeing thus far. So we did have to mull to 5 this game, which has been kind of unfortunate. We can find Elenda. Keeps us in it. Can we stop with Sorens? I want an Elenda. At this point, just keep our life total reasonable. This can trade with Peddler. Animate. So, both players kind of hellbent. They're well ahead on board. Yeah, it depends on what you're trying to hate out. We've been very unlucky with our combo. I think we do this. I have blink effects. So we take out the reanimate, they top deck reanimate, and that's our third Sorin, and then watch. Now it's going to be Elenda. It's going to be our draw. And then we're 1 land short. We've used both our back streets already, so we don't even get the Surveil. Frustrating one. So I have to block here because then Deathrite kills me. I just want to see if we hit Elenda. They've managed to draw out of this very well. Multi 5 and then you get hit a couple different times. It's going to mess up your combo. So there are like Esper Reanimator, Ephemerate pile. So kind of what we're doing. Their deck does have quite a greedy mana base. I do think Ghost Vacuum could be good. Peddler can be good. I don't know if we want Wrath the Skies in this matchup, but the Reanimates I can see being reasonable. Because they have Bowmaster and a lot of small stuff, I'm going to get rid of Felia. Arcan's probably not good enough. Still want the Griefs. Sebastian, thanks for the sub. Probably get rid of... I don't like playing Demonic Tutor. It's kind of just slow in a lot of these matchups. Probably Solitude. I mean, Ritual can help me get out ahead. Might be right for the sweeper. They're just not going like crazy wide. And because they have reanimate, it's not like the be all end all. It's never gonna get No, I don't have lines. God. Might have been right to keep the opener, but these games have been really bad. We just didn't see. The first hand, like, we had a bit of the combo, but it was a bit slow, all things considered. Mulliganing to 5. We've had 2 non-games, and it's been a bit frustrating. Like, I'm fine to lose, but at least let us play the game. Might have been right, even just to keep that opener. Both these decks, like, they're a reanimator deck, so there's a likelihood. Hand's torn to shit. A Malta 3 when you consider the Dark Ritual doesn't do much. I guess Overlords are kind of saving grace. We can hit it. Deathrite can be reasonable, maybe as an addition. I do think we need some. The Felias are just... worse. Okay, that's not a bad one. We do kind of run the... base. We do have to be mindful here. Their deck does have access to Solitude. This is 2 mana to activate. Ah, that was kind of a dumb attack, because now they can block and discard. Yeah, that was dumb, that was dumb. Now I'm playing bad. Playing bad. Shouldn't have done that discard. I'm doing this now because if they want to get flying, they have to play something else. But we're basically dead. We mulled too much. I guess the line here is if we could potentially... If we hit Dark Ritual, we can get back Solitude and Grief, which might be our way. I did kind of punt away 2 damage though. Frog's annoying. Alright, give me swords, give me something. Target creature you control gains lifelink and death touch. that. Trade on 2 there. Give my Bowmaster indestructible. Probably what I have to do. Kind of my only course. They did keep on top, which probably not a good sign for it. They go to discard. That's really annoying. Like, that's a hell of a top deck. Because now they're going to get flying. Like, that's the only way they get enough cards in hand to be able to do that. They draw there. We have to keep eating their graveyard just to keep them down. Oh, that only goes till end of turn. That was dumb. I made a mistake there. Yeah, you can say hello. It doesn't matter. Now we're in kind of an interesting game where they only have 2. I could potentially block here. Probably putting Dollmaker in front of the Psychic Frog here. Letting him get one more draw. I thought this was indestructible always. I mean, Sorin might be a distraction for them. I mean, Overlord, we have like 14% to try to find something to cheat with Sorin. I think we're doing this. Have that die. We're basically dead. Like, we have a very fringe chance. So I'm playing it out in that context. But the double Psychic Frog. Guess I can fight over that. That might be right. Because now they grief me here. Gets it. Yeah, they drew too many cards. The Overlord perfectly kind of drawing them into that. They get priority there anyway, so I don't even get a chance to interact. Oh, no problem. I like doing these types of things. So reanimate, obviously. Lovely when I just hit my Witch Enchanter, which would have helped. Like nothing I can do. Ah! What a shit game. Alright. We went 2-1 with that one. Let's reset. Refresh. So I don't think this version is great. You're too slow. We'll try energy. Trust the right deck. It is. Get a feel for this. Because like a lot of those games, I don't think Chrome Box mattered. We just got unlucky with like the way we were hitting our stuff. I wouldn't mind playing even like that Esper list that opponent was on. That seems fun. Psychic Frog's a cool card. Start off with Ragavan. Doing this first because this is a better follow-up turn too. They're kind of priced into killing Ragavan here. We also have Amped Raptor, which is a nice hit. Verdant Catacomb could be a couple different things. So we have Backstreets there. I do need whites. Probably just going white-red here again. We have this treasure token if needed for now, but just my hand's very red focused. Could be the Sorin pile like we just played against. So having double Galvanic's good. Like what we were just playing. That'll get us enough energy. That's good because it gets us the black mana we would potentially need. Done. So they're on the deck we just played. I just want the Thoughtseize, the Peddlers. They're going to be a Blink style deck. Hit or miss with the amount of early removal, so Ragavan could still be reasonable. Nightmare to grind it out. Prison, I'll probably trim one. On the play, probably one. You know what? Prison's strictly better than Galvanic, since it can scale up and hit the bigger things, non-land permanents, stuff like that. Thoughtseize, everything like that, probably good. Run it back. Your deck's going to be grindier. But it's probably unlikely in most games we'll have 7 energy. Just given we're going to be aggressive with using it in some cases. I'm gonna mulligan this one. Probably putting back Parlor here just because our hand's going to be having us curve out. And I'd rather have the option to fetch for the parlor. I mean, we don't really have much interaction to the combo. The one thing with this list I imported, I do want loot or something in the sideboard, just naming like Soren. Something we're missing. So we'll see if opponent's skilled and gets the turn 1 Alenda. Chrome Mox version. Peddler likely takes a Johnny here. This card in our hand. I did a couple. I don't know, the Arena Cube just doesn't work with me. When I play Cube, it's more like the social element. It's kind of like with EDH, where I prefer to just play it with like friends. I have my own cube. It's a Ravnica-esque cube. Interesting that they bin Alenda. They just have the reanimate. Fucking hell. I mean, how is that like they get the top deck perfect Alenda? So we maybe want Hearse. They're on Peddlers as well, so honestly probably don't have enough time for that. The perfect Surveil land, your Alenda, the exact card you want in your graveyard to have reanimate. Probably fine. I don't think I could be too greedy with some of these. We do need better sideboard cards. I don't like the way the sideboard is. I just had imported it, didn't really see. Swords there. Bit annoying, just in part because our hand's so shitty. Hey Nickel, how's it going? Alright, well my hand doesn't do much, so you can Peddler away. So I think here, it depends on the set, if I enjoy it or not. I've done, like I like Duskmourn, I didn't like Bloomburrow, I didn't really like Foundations, but usually I'll do it just on the side. Something I find like easy to just, as I'm playing out games. So here, little grief here, they could have the reanimate. Did end up binning the Dark Ritual. Our hand's shit, so that's the one good thing. On the Ephemerate package, not dead after all. The next qualifier is Alchemy. So I've been playing more best of one Alchemy. I like the black-white piles, they're pretty fun. The Chorus control deck's strong, but the mirrors are disgusting. You're probably like more consistent to play like the heist matchups, but there's ways to kind of fight that as well. I do want the Surveil land here. Try to find some action. Oh my god. Deck Y. Deck Y. It really depends. Like, if it's best of 3, then I'll pick it up. But, like, the Birds deck in best of 1 is strong, but it's kind of lacking card advantage. You lose to yourself more. The biggest thing I've found playing Alchemy is the mana-based constraints. Like, Mice is a worse deck in the format, but could still steal stuff. There's no Monstrous Rage. Opponents out here just drawing non-stop gas. Belia here. I think we take the double block here. They're doing that there. I think it's... No! My Luris! No! Oh, I should have just taken the damage. Oh my god. So bad. And now I might have like Surveil lands, I think, as well. That's so bad. Just try to keep pushing damage. We've drawn so bad. That was such a dumb block from me. Like, they showed the scam part. I think we just don't give them the choice here. If they have another scam, they have it, but they have access to Felia Grief. Ritual here. They could Solitude. Or they can Grief. Just... Oh man. Opponents drawn so well. Like, just seeing what's come up this game. Absurdity. Let's just go Blood Crypt here. I have no energy, so it's not the best line. We just gotta try to push face, try to find like Goblin Bombardment or something. Like, I played so bad with that Luris line, but we've also very much flooded this game. So...
Day, brother.
I think we gotta get rid of the Overlord here. And then just try to find Bombardment. Because the thing is, they have Felia. Felia comes in, Felia can either blink Grief or it can get rid of my token. If it gets rid of my token, then I probably just need to trade off. Keep a Johnny around. Actually, probably don't need to. They're just going to top deck reanimate now. Actually, they can't reanimate that. If Felia here. Obviously would have liked to Static Prison Felia. They can choose to hit Grief. Get rid of Static Prison, that comes back, they get some value. You get to flip a Johnny here at least. Potentially. Removal, swords, not dead. A lot of action here.
There is no world where my
And I have bombardments. Guess the question... Keep making tokens for now. We need a red permanent. We win the game should we have one, but can't do much right now. I can double block on Grief. They do have to kind of keep stuff back though. Got 31 cards, we always have to be mindful. We just need to try to hit a red card. If we hit a red card, we're in an okay spot. God! Stop with the lands! Because now Johnny's dead.
ignite your heart.
I don't even think I have fetchables left. Unreal. Do they have Sorin in their yard? I actually haven't hit a Sorin yet. It does keep me alive one more turn. Like that's my line. I gotta try to win through like bombardment to kill them. Gotta keep a Johnny alive. Just not getting any cooperation with the deck. Amped Raptor into Goblin Bombardment one time. One time. Show me bombardment. Show me a Johnny. Ah! What is up with this? So freaking lucky. Probably gonna let a Johnny go down now. Like, this is an absurd amount of lines. Just hitting this many. Like, we punted that Luris line. I get the block there. I'm dead. We cannot catch a break this game. Gonna be Wrath Disguise. I mean, the fact, like, they had 3 lands for most of the game and we just hit so many. That is a very unfortunate sequence. Let's fix this deck sideboard though. Silence and portable hole's good in the mirror. Flute. Think we want Surveil the land. We could also just play the Boros version. All that. I'm tired of losing to just like random shit. Like in the sense of our games that we've lost, we just didn't get a chance to play Magic, which is always frustrating. Like it's fine to lose games, just not when you're not actually making decisions. Esper Tempo. There is like the deck we just played against. We could run that some more. Scam like ended up getting us, but I punted some of that. Boros. I'm just checking out like what I want to play. Like the Abzan ritual decks. Let's maybe play another one of the vampires. I do like that deck. Like if you just want to push in, like Alchemy's pretty soft, Historic, Standard's pretty tough to like break through. Like the last little bit. That's something you might want to just change, like what format you're playing could sometimes help. Gives you a little bit more diversity. Otherwise, just best of one for speed usually works as you kind of go through. We can play this again. Maybe Trimophilia. Trim a Witch Enchanter. Question is, do I want like Deathrite in this deck? Or just play some copies of One Ring? Hey Emerson, thanks for the games. We definitely flooded quite significantly. Let's try the Chromox version. I punted the Laris line. I forgot about not that. Yeah, the scam stuff got me more than the Alenda stuff. The first one. The second one I should have played around it. That was my mistake. We'll trim a flute. We have the Chromox, so we'll craft these. Yeah, like you drew like the right answers at the right time, and then I just couldn't get anything consistent. I think that turn you might have Like, since you had the Felia, it might have made sense to go all in on a Johnny, since that was kind of my catch up. But other than that, I think you played well. My deck didn't cooperate. So we got Chromox in this version. Dark Ritual. We have Reanimate. Soren's. Thalia's attacks. We got Skyclave, Disruptor Flute, Wrath of Skies. So enough graveyard hate in this one. I did want to try... This one's on the Demonic Tutor, helps you find your pieces, but I want to try something else. Oh, Blood Baron. It's a vampire and it works pretty nice. And then I want to try Spy on the side. Yeah, I have Spy on the side. I think it might be better than Thalia, because Thalia slows us down a bit. I guess we're still creature heavy, so it's fine. But it dies to Bowmaster. Timeless Best of One is a terrible format. Historic can be a little bit iffier, but like it's easier to combat because you're not like you at least get 2 to 3 turns. So just bringing in graveyard stuff. Explorer's kind of hit or miss in terms of skill level, I find. Let's try the Thalias. I've never played them before in this format, so we'll see how it goes. Let's call this Mox Orzhov. Because I kept finding in the other one, we just weren't hitting enough stuff for Soren. So this gives us a little bit more utility. Alright. Let's try this again. Mox Orzhov. Oh, sorry. My mom's flying in back home today, so I was just checking updates. This probably is the... I miss when you were able to play Grixis Death Shadow. I love playing that deck. I might end up just playing Grixis Chorus. Or like Dimir Shadow-esque deck. I have fun playing that. Like, I like tempo decks. I don't like necessarily full control. The Esper variant might be good. Alright, let's see how this one went. Okay, we got the combo. Probably Bogart one. Okay, real deck to start. Likely not on counters. They could have flare, so let's wait till next turn. Yeah, this format's way too combo-y. Like when you used to be able to play Jund mid-range and there's the Titan decks, like the Sultai decks, that was actually interesting to me because there was play to it. With this format now, it's just like, do I cheat Soren at turn 1? Do I Belcher turn 1? With energy, you're just... I should probably like fetch now. They may be on Stifle. This they could be on Subtlety. Okay, so with this, I want to bait out a counter here. They do here.
This is an interesting story.
Get rid of Dollmaker here. I know, but the thing is with Legacy, you still have stuff like Stompy, there's the Eldrazi decks, there's the Reanimator decks. Like, it's not just, like, do I die turn 1, right? So trying to do this to force out counters out of them. They brainstorm here. I mean, it's interesting to see like, oh, this is cool, something that could be done, but I don't know, from like a continual gameplay, those decks don't interest me. Like, it's fun to do the Belcher thing once. Beyond that, I wouldn't really do much.
In the right hand, knowledge is the sharpest blade.
So we just gotta dodge Subtlety here. Maybe it was right to target Tamiyo with the Solitude there. That was probably my mistake because they were gonna sack the shield back. That's good to do that because now I can reanimate it if needed. If they have Subtlety, they get my Sorin. But then I have Reanimator backup. Because they're forced to Subtlety here. So they would either need Commandeer or another one. And if they have it, they have it, but that's 3 free counters in the top 10 cards. You have the third Subtlety. Because like that hand's ridiculous if they did. Okay. Gonna say that's a little bit too much if that's the case. They might have Solitude. They have something giving them priority, but cool. Knock that through. Okay, so Thalia is probably going to be good here. Do I want Ghost Vacuum? I mean, it would be nice. Like, I enjoy interaction in the sense like back and forth games. The game doesn't need to be over. Like, I like mono red, but I always like playing tier 2 decks. So now that mono red's, it's like the hipster thing. Don't think we necessarily want Skyclave, but mind you, Skyclave gives me a little bit more interaction. Probably don't want the Solitudes. They could be on Graveyard Hate. This many. In this matchup, I think the games are going to go long, so it's less likely that I need Chrome Mox. So like 2-for-1ing myself isn't great. This hits Tameo. I think maybe just a Ghost Vacuum. It could be, like in grindier matchups, it gives me something to do with my mana if we flood. They could also be on Mystic Sanctuary, Snapcaster Mage. Very likely they're also on Frog. The Leyline version's kind of bullshit, but as always, each their own. I think we're doing this. Keep the land. My thought here is Swords this. Dark Ritual my Overlord. Swords Tameo. I might try to brainstorm. Okay, so getting rid of that is good. Question here is, do I just want to... I think I do it on their turn. Because I think quality and then just forcing them out of stuff on their turn could be good. This just enables Flare. Dark Writ. You do it all next turn potentially. This deck's tricky to navigate against because they have so many free counters. Between Subtlety, the Flare. Like, hopefully this new Tarkir set actually does something to Standard. Like, I'm doing the Standard videos once a week, but especially for Best of One, it's hard to talk about the same 3 to 4 decks every week. Like, it's groundbreaking. Okay, so since they have the second one, they're gonna have Flare anyways, so... I think I do want Wrath the Sky. Oh, Stifle. I said earlier I gotta play around Stifle, and they have Stifle now. So they got Flare. Do they have the second Flare? They don't. Get Thalia. This will buy me some time, depending what they do. I also have Dollmaker. This is like a Zorius tempo. Really wish I had that other land. Do we know at least going into game 3 to proactively fetch?
No! I'm late for class!
Brainstorm. Of course you do. I think I still need to just try to do this Baelmerk this turn. We hit a land, maybe. But getting our land stifled there. We haven't drawn any of our hand hate pieces, which also sucks. No Juggernauts, no...
This would be a boon to my research.
Because I need to try to hit the Skyclave.
Senseless.
I think we do this. Do you have Commandeer? Do you have Subtlety? Stifle my ability. We're getting hit by 2 stifles. Of course we are. Love that. So we took a line. I mean, they've had 2 stifles in the top bit. They've hit 2 phantasmals. They've hit the flare. They're gonna get you sometimes like that. I think that was the line to try to win. They treasure cruise here. Them having the shield backs every game has been annoying. And the fact that they can flip Tameo at instant speed protects against some of the removal. Okay, so we saw Treasure Cruise, so that's something we're going to want probably the other Ghost Vacuum against.
Think before you act.
Doing this now. Problem is,
Do you mind?
let's counter this, which they likely have, Mana Drain or something. Just get a little bit more info. But we're basically dead in this one. Seems like a terrible matchup. For our own sanity, folks, we're not dead this turn, but they don't kill fast. Cameo, Seasoned Scholar. I think we just got to try to go for the long game. Trim on like the removal, just becomes super interactive, or like the fast mana. They're gonna have too many counters that trying to do it all in one turn, we just end up with blowout, and then we end up with dead cards. So we need every card, I think, in this matchup to actually do something. But they also have Stifle for Sorin, which makes it worse. They have Stifle for our fetches. So best line would be a Reanimate and Grief opener. Terrible. Alright, we probably keep this. I think we Grief on 1. I want to take like whatever their free thing is, try to use Thalia to slow them down. They have a pause, so they might have subtlety. They do have Fragment, Flare, Tameo. So the Brainstorm. Our hand's terrible against this. We could have taken the Fragment, but doesn't do enough. I'm not getting stifled here. I guess I could have taken Fragment. They probably weren't going to play Tameo. I don't know. It's an iffy keep. This, I don't know, this format's just not driving with me. Like, maybe we just play show and tell, but feels like What did you draw? That's my question. Because if they fragment here, that's good for us. If they don't, then I take the fragment. I guess what they can do here is shuffle it away with Brainstorm. So they take a flare. These decks lacking any real card advantage is very frustrating. Like, as much as you have the overlords, you're just not doing much without like actual card advantage, and I think you're just better off with Necro. Get rid of the reanimate, play Necro, just try to find the combo every turn. This deck's too fair. We'll try the Abzan one maybe after this. And doesn't do much beyond this. We need lands and spells. Could have gotten rid of Fragment potentially. A Fragment here. Nothing in my deck feels bad. With this flare, they're going to be able to see what they do. I'm going to let them surveil first. But like, we haven't hit Bowmasters, we haven't hit Overlords. Seems not bad. Gives me something to do. I mean, even against that, it's not great because if they're going to just start treasure cruising, they're just back in it. But I think these decks, like playing Demiri, are probably better as a grief pile. We can try that out. Like this deck in Demir with like the Sorin plan could be reasonable. Or play like Oculus. Needed that a turn ago. I mean, they're at 6. If nothing else. We get the counter out here, it's not too bad. Probably taking the Tameo first. Opting to not do that. Brainstorm here. My swords, their subtlety. I might even hold on the swords, because if they flash in a second one. They do need 2 creatures to block.
Perhaps there are more useful texts down on the surface.
Do this on their end step. Plays out. Okay, let that go. You should have held that because they'll get fragment here. Yeah, I should have waited. Kidding me? Of course, I take their Tameo and then I... They're gonna fragment me. So they're forced to do this. That's actually nice, because that gets me... They are on double flip. I think we do take the counters out. I can block with the stall maker, bring it back. Them having the double flare was annoying. Interesting. I think we're doing this. I can give indestructible. I have to use that for... Yeah, we just... They have a lot of free counters, they've drawn a lot of like good stuff, and then they've had the brainstorms to fix their draws, where we've 2-for-1'd ourselves a lot. Like this is a matchup where you need something like the One Ring or some sort of sustained card advantage. We're in a spot where we need to draw lands and spells, which is like the worst spot you can be. So at this point, we basically need to draw a land. Yeah, that. So they had like perfect, because like here, look, I have the removal, we would have had lethal. And then they have the blocker, so it gets us that way there. So we are like, their hand came together very well relative to like what we had. There was no way to kind of play around. We had to kind of force that block or attack. The other thing was to like not attack there, but these decks like into this format are just way too inconsistent, I find. Like we got stifled, we got like hit with some random shit. Where's this energy deck? I don't know. I like stuff with card advantage, and we're just not getting card advantage with this deck. Let's try the Absan deck. We're having like no luck with this. Like they don't have exactly like 4-drop into 1-drop. They drew subtlety when they would have played the creature out. We could have gotten an attack. Like there's a lot of lines there where we had a potential outcome, but just couldn't get it like in place. So we'll hang off. I don't want to craft the subtlety. Gearhulks are fine for standard. Probably just another Deathrite. We can also look at just incidental hate pieces in the main. We have Arcan that we can do. We can do Skyclave Apparition. Johnny. We can do second Bowmaster. Also reasonable. Let's do second Bowmaster. Oh, I didn't want to craft Verdant Catacombs. Boo. We could have used other lines. White Orchid. Alright. Let's run it. Let's run it. We're doing Abzan Birthing Ritual. Let's see how that one plays. If not, we do a frog deck. It maybe look like Delirium or something, but we honestly haven't played any combo decks, so maybe that's just like what we... I don't want to play Show and Tell though. And the Belcher deck to me is just boring. Alright, cool. Cool. Back a Rallier. Sentinel. I think in like an actual Birthing Pod deck, I find the Sam combo very boring to play. Let's just do this. I'm gonna use Surveil Lens. Just the one that we had in our opener. It's going to be Guide, Marsh Flats, Fetch, Rallier, get the land. Naturally draw Ritual. Can't do anything yet, so I think getting Ritual into play. Actually, no. I gotta give them... not playing Guide on one ended up hurting us. There's not much utility. I think here we're keeping it for now. I can Dollmaker this turn. Can do this for that. Doesn't do too much. Like a ritual. Don't let him draw a card. Rallier. Like drawing all these doll makers don't do anything. I think we do this. Just have this block and then have it, the Renegator get back the doll maker. But I need a way to trigger Revolt, so I have to keep this up. Top monitor. Flyer could be annoying. They ended up tapping that. Block. So we'll give him the draw here. Or not give him the draw. We'll get Bowmaster here. Kill the Esper Sentinel, gain some life back. Okay, we're figuring it out. Hey user, how's it going? Have that block there. We have Renegade Rallier. Sai is a scary one. And Mashiko. Okay. Well, we might be dead. We might be dead. I can't fetch. Promox. This gets back that. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to die. Damn it. So exile it. Ah, that was dumb. I needed this to die, so I got the extra trigger. I can Dollmaker the Bowmaster, but it doesn't do anything this turn. I can Bright Hulk, Gear Hulk. I can Oscillate's Pride. Get the Gear Hulk. And then I will get Guide of Souls and Oscillate's Pride. Okay, we're trying to survive. That's 7 in the air. Oh, come on! Come on! That's annoying. That is annoying. Double Mashiko. Static Prison. Bowmaster. Get rid of an Overlord. Probably just the Chrome Moxes. We were about to stabilize. The cool thing you can do with this deck is with Ocelot's Pride, you make copies. The problem is we were already on end step, so we wouldn't get the counters to gain more life. That's how like my entire day's been. We just can't catch a break. Did we fetch here for white? Let's fetch for Temple Garden because it lets me use my Death Right and play that tapped. This is really good in this matchup, but Scroll for protection. Mox Amber. Take some damage. I do want to kind of Gear Hulk next turn, so I think I have to do it this way. Metal Cyst. Mashiko is fine on its own, but they don't have the flyers just yet. That kind of takes away their turn, like their play, since they have the Mox Amber. Actually can't. I think I gotta keep my life total higher. Because this has first strike next turn. Green, green, white, white. Souls, Ocelot's Pride. It's a bunch of life this turn. Skrelv can't really attack here, which is good. This will flip, but at that point I already gained a bunch of life. One ring in this deck. The old Skrelv One Ring. That's actually a good one. Actually, I'm short on colored mana. I could only do 2 of these. I can go get another. Oh, I forgot they had protection. Do this. Gain some life. I can go get Deathrite Shaman. And we get Chrome Mox. Honestly, I think we could just outpace him on life gain. I can just gain life with Peddlers. Unless they could jump something in the air, but giving this flying could be good. I feel like this deck wants more white. I guess that's not the end of the world because I can eat at stuff in their graveyard. Plus it gives me lands now, which is nice. Can do Bobble. Bobble's just whatever. Eat the Esper Sentinel. Big Jugs. Skrelv could give pseudo unblockable to something. So we will want to gain life. Alright, friend. Let's go. Life. Cool. Let's do some cool stuff. Come on. They're getting priority from Skrelv, which is annoying, because now they're just taking their sweet time. Do this, we do this. We do this. We have the city's blessing now. Now we're gonna get a land out of their library, or their graveyard, add white mana. And we're going to Guide a Souls our Ocelote's Pride. This is going to gain us even more life. And at this point, we're going to just try to close out the game as quick as possible. Just give this a big boost. Or we'll do it once this turn, because then I want my prides to fly next turn. Just the life gain can be good. Four ball them. So now we're going to do some silly stuff. So prides just exponentially increase now. Energy through the roof. We have the One Ring chasing him down. I have a bunch of energy. I could add 9 power to things. Unless they have a sweeper. Which if they have a sweeper in their play to the board deck, they get it. It could. It wouldn't be unbelievable. No. Soul. Should just be dead to the attack in the air. Alright, that felt a little bit better. They don't really have basics that make sense. We maybe want... I think we just run it like this. I think we were good that way. I mean, when they don't have the Mashiko draws. And Chromok's pretty bad here. Like, we don't have much to get. I think this is a mulligan. We got a draw. Target themselves. Okay, Bobble's churning through. We actually might... Yeah, since we got Protocol. Alright, it's good. My thought here is going to be... They're on just Bobbletron. They're going to be looping it with that, which is strong. Draw another card. So I can... Chrome Mox this. Play the land. Birthing Ritual, my pride. Get something else. Drawing a lot of lands, which is annoying. Then next turn I enable Revolt. Enable Revolt. Get a tap land. Renegade Rallier. Back my pride. They can just get Bobble here. Hopefully hit like Guide of Souls or something. Would have preferred like a 2-drop there. Them looping Bobbles is also a little annoying, making their hand a little bit better. They've tapped out here. This lets me get some tokens with Pride, which should help. Witch Enchanter will be great as well afterwards. Here we're gonna get Overgrown Tomb or Godless Shrine. Back Ocelote's Pride. See what we get. So it's either Bowmaster here or another Ocelote's Pride. I think we get the Bowmaster. Bowmaster will give us a way to shut them off doing this nonsense with the Bobbles, and it lets us go wide still. So we've shut off their ability to draw a lot of cards, which is good. Can turn the light on. The nice thing here is with Witch Enchanter, it can blow up the Ensoul artifact. It can hit like Nettle Cyst, Mashiko. We do need to be able to eventually attack in, but I think if we could continue just building to our board, once we hit Gearhulk, we'll be able to start fetching. Skrelv. Definitely want my ritual back, so. Let's see if they make a mistake. They're gonna make the mistake. Gladly kill that. So that also takes them off. Like chunk them for a huge amount. In terms of our lands, we do have a temple. I'm gonna do this just in case we hit a revolt. I can Overlord, which seems the best. And then I can get back the Witch Enchanter. Value! We just kind of loop this around a few times, so they One Ring us here. Probably still attack with Overlord just to get the trigger. So they'll get a turn. There's Static Prison here. I think taking out Emery is probably the best. Slows them down the most from being able to like loop stuff. Just get the trigger here if I can find like Guidasouls or Gearhulk. I can't target them with Peddler this turn. Probably just keep that for next turn. No sense committing more to the board right now. On the off chance they play a sweeper, we have some stuff to rebuild here. Shaman here. Shaman lets me also just control their graveyard. No sense playing these out right now. We have enough mana for next turn to do both. And then that'll allow us kind of like a toolboxy deck. Lets you get a couple things going. Second One Ring. Notably, this is life loss. Can chain One Rings together, but not going to do what they think it will. Notably, no instance. That is a little awkward. We'll just the turn. So I can't quite steal their stuff. Smartly do that. I think here. Bright glass makes the most sense since it's just basically card advantage. I can gain some energy to keep them off Emery. They would need effectively a third One Ring here. They're digging. Alright, they're dead. They are dead. Took a while. Sequencing with this deck's a little difficult. So they stole the first one from us with a very aggressive Mashiko opening. Mocking me with you've played so many lands achievement. How's everybody in chat doing? You've played so many. Keep. Thank you. This hand looks pretty good. We got a couple options in terms of how to play it out. They're aggressively mulliganing, so maybe combo. Thank you, appreciate it. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. I can pitch that. Tarn. Cameo. This is an interesting turn. So we start with attacking. On Frog, I'd rather take out Frog, but Tamiyo's pretty bad. Means that I can't Solitude. I think we're doing this. Perfect. So this has a CMC of 0. Full Peddler here. So they have Mana Drain, they have Brainstorm, they have Psychic Frog. I think we do this. Actually, I probably should have taken Mana Drain and just done this at instant speed. You hear if they just play out Frog? They may. Let's exile this. Still think it's right to hit Psychic Frog. Here we'll fetch probably Plains, do this, get Oscillate's Pride back. Bowmaster is also pretty solid. Witch Enchanter. So Bowmaster shuts them off from being able to draw cards. So Bowmaster gets them off that. That lets me take out their Mana Drain, which also can be good at this point, but I think we're just on the Bowmaster plan here. Lets me go wide enough here. If they want a Mana Drain, it's most of their turn. And then this works nice. They can fragment there, but I get a good piece if they fragment. They're off a mana source. Swords here. I gain life. Oscillate's Pride. Now I get the tokens. I'm gonna hold this in hand, I think. Could have utility. So here... I got Renegade Rallier. Renegade Rallier back. Dollmaker. Renegade Rallier. Juggernaut Peddler. Take your Mana Drain. Nice Treasure Cruise. Well, Treasure Cruise will kill you, so... How about you enjoy that? You're also quite a ways away. That was a pretty sweet turn. Alright, so I got Brainstorm. And they're dead. Okay. Esperino. Blow up their lands seems pretty good. Bowmaster. Could want Tormod's Crypts instead of the Mox. Bowmaster's good. Deathrite can be good. They're on Treasure Cruise. They're on Frog, so controlling the graveyard has utility. Trim some of those. Can only play one spell per turn. Doesn't work too wondrous. Dollmaker's okay. Probably gonna trim a Pride here. Probably an Overlord. Run it like that. Still gives us access. Blowing up their lands can be good. They probably don't run too many basics in the stock list. And that's a good thing to kind of repeatedly target. Question is, do we want to trim on like a land? How many lands are we running? 12, 15, 16. I think we run it like this. Don't want too many copies of like Mox. It's card disadvantage. Not gonna do it. Okay, so they brought in the... So they're off Subtlety now? We're doing this. Go back. Just gonna do this now. Going to Malta 5 doesn't make sense. We want to just... Our hand's playable. Let's play it. Got a Peddler here. Have Snare. They can have a lot of different things here, but... Snare. I gotta just try to force things out. Yeah, Scolding, Snare. There's a lot of options they can have there. Needed another land there. So this potentially could let me pick off their Luris. We missed line drops, so I can't really do much there. We're playing very few lines in this deck. They have Flare, don't they? And it's a grind fest. Their hand's really good. So I can do this to get Bowmaster. A Birthing Ritual. The problem is... So the thing is they like Toxic Deluge here. Or hit me with a Sweeper. Now. Point here. I have to do that because otherwise, like, they could still sweep here though. So maybe I just wait there. Because if they have untapped land, it gets me. Where's that other line? They go to attacks. Them having like a bunch. We're stuck on lands, and then it kind of got us too. I think that's fine. Problem is, Frog is gonna get us here. Guess we... do this. Can't subtlety this turn. Can't rallier, so I have to Guide us Souls. I have to eat him from my graveyard because they can counter it by exiling it with Psychic Frog. But my line here is just to try to gain some advantage. Peddler, I can Peddler. It also oscillates, which would be strong. Peddler gets rid of potential removal, which could be reasonable. Oscillates. Gains me some life. Jeez. The problem is they just sweep me here. Them having two sweepers is like gross. It just gets me. I don't think there's... They can just get Fragment here. Fragment gets rid of Birthing Ritual. So they could fragment my Birthing Ritual. That's gross. They're flying, they attack in. Oh, they missed an attack. I mean, we gotta try. Overlord. I could blink the Overlord. That works. That's a nice one. That gets me Guide us Souls back. I probably still gotta do Guide us Souls. The Bowmaster, but... Guide us Souls helps me race. Solitude's like the big play. Let's just go Gearhulk. Gives me value. So I could get flying here. We come in for a pretty reasonable attack. They can only do so much damage per turn against me. Might have still been right to get the life gainer. But I can just get 2 Gaida Souls, even. What's left in my library? I have a Solitude, I have the White Orchid. Do this. Get all these. Sack this, get Solitude. Take out their frog. Boom! So they can't Toxic Deluge or they die. They can Wrath the Skies for 4, but it doesn't deal with Overlord. They need a land plus Wrath the Skies. And then I could come out with Oscillate's Pride, the combo where you gain a bunch of Oscillate Pride tokens. Alright, let's see, let's see. Looks like Treasure Cruise is a start, potentially. Alright. GG's. Got him! Two-oh. Oh, nice. Is this the run? Is this the run? Tune in to the next episode. Playing Timeless. Playing Bo3. I think I want more death rates in the deck. Grombox. Okay, but it's card disadvantage. We keep? I don't know what this hand is. Let's try. Stifle? Problem is our land only produces that. Try this out. Wait a sec, I gotta charge my watch. Okay, brainstorm. This is probably show and tell. What you got? Double manager. Take that. Attack him at this angle. Pretty bad. That's not bad. Assuming they counter this. Maybe they don't. Another brainstorm? I'll sack it to find. Do this, do that. Probably correct still. Just because it gives me a copy in my graveyard. It's a pretty bad one. It's just so dead in this matchup. I think we do this. Naturally draw nothing again. Needed something there. I mean, their hand's not great. Our hand's just not coming together. All right. What do you got? Demonic Tutor. Draxa. We took a chance, obviously. I have to try to hit the other Atraxa. Or the other Solitude. Assemble the team, and of course they have like the full non-draw version, no brainstorm needed, no Lorien revealed. Our hand really didn't come together. They also have the Veil. I just want to see how they're winning. Our hand just did not come together. There's a small chance they might fizzle, highly unlikely, but let them do their thing. They had the brainstorm for our turn 1 Thoughtseize. Veil here. Don't play Veil. Approach. Can you dig for it? You can. Get rid of Solitudes. Probably get rid of Overlords. Wouldn't mind these. I don't understand the point of Chrome Mox in this. Like, it lets you turn 2 stuff, but most of the stuff you don't necessarily want to turn 2. Like, maybe Bowmaster, maybe White Orchid, but I feel like the hate pieces are more important. Probably trim a Rallier, trim a Ritual. I could be wrong. Let me know. Like, I understand you want to go fast in this matchup, but just not having actual interaction. All right, let's try. I mean, I can Arcan on 2 potentially. I could White Orchid. Start blowing up their lands. Like, also, like, guess you gotta keep the Moxes in. Of course, Brainstorm. Never not have it. I didn't want to target their land because they fetch it in response. Okay. So they're locked. That said, trim, trim, trim. Like, I'd rather more death rates than anything. Maybe it's right to play from one of these. Because Gear Hulk represents a lot of our hate pieces in the matchup, which is good. Let's go Temple Garden here. Could have gone Mox into turn 1 Juggernaut, but it's basically like 3 cards we lose. And they had the Brainstorm again on turn 1, so it doesn't matter. This turn, I probably lead with the Oscillate's Pride. And then Peddler. Come on. Probably Godless. Eat away at their hand here. I mean, they can mana drain into show and tell. If they have it, I have the Witch Enchanter. Perhaps take that line. Too much there. Three lines in mind. They're on their turn. That's an interesting one. Try to Bowmaster them. Fine. Them using the Veil there. Can drain them 4. Can't, so we probably just make a copy of Pride to give us more copies, and then I can eat away at their thing. It's my best bet. Eat away at a land, eat away at a sorcery, deal 2 more points of damage. Can't do much beyond that. This is an interesting game. Like, we're going back and forth. We basically have him to a turn. Wait. Big or little dumb shitters just pinging. Deathrite's so good. I'd be so much better than Mox. Because like Mox, we would have had to gone down a card. Deathrite ramps you early. Like none of that game's possible. We don't win this game like without Deathrite. All right, we're on the board. Continue going. Do anything? This hand does. I think we put Mox back. Deathrite Shaman. I too will play Deathrite Shaman in attack position. Could be black-white, could just be mono-black necro, white, lord. Could be getting a Lenda next turn, or Sorin comboed. Think here. Hand's really awkward. So I'm doing this because I want to fight the Deathrite if they need to land. If they target a land, I target their land. Do this. Now they might not have the land. Made the right. Nope, they still do. We are playing Abzan Birthing Ritual, so it's kind of like a toolbox deck. And we have died. Turn 3. Alright, so this matchup... Needles... Probably it. We just weren't going to do anything at that point. They got too much value. Guess we could blow up their lands. They're not playing too many basics. Bowmaster doesn't do much in this matchup. They could be on their own Bowmasters, but probably not. Witch Enchanter. I think it's terrible. I think the format is too overrun with combo. You can't really play mid-rangey. Like even something like this, we're just barely getting by. But the mana's too fast. You have to keep like weird sideboard slots. I liked it better when it was like jump mid-range, the domain decks. You could play like Death Shadow. Keep this put back. Witch Enchanter. Witch Enchanter. Solitude. Sorin, Impervious, Blood. Check. The correct one. I mean, Force of Will only helps blue decks, and there's like already an overrepresentation of blue decks in the format. Get a Lenda. Bit annoying that we led on Overgrown Tomb, so I can't White Knight. Our decision's not going to change much. We're still likely going to push lands, White Knight this turn. Second is a bit annoying. It hit Witch Enchanter. The deck a bit more. Let's hope they don't have. Generally Historic's my favorite, and then whatever kind of the format of the month is. They only have one basic, which is great. Find a land there. Blink would be good. Jeez. Straight overlords for days. You have the Sorin, and then they have the Witch Enchanter. If I just get rid of Alenda, but this actually gets the Overlords going, which is worse. Play this. It's a weird game. How about yourself, Teddy? What do you play? Definitely going full White Knight next game. Birthing Ritual is nice. Here we know they get that back next turn, so that's going to be my play. This is the more mana efficient line. I guess the downside, if I kept it, I could have dealt with Juggernaut. Interesting. So the Needles, the White Knights are really good here. Back here, they're forced to block. Give me one more White Knight. Dollmaker works. Probably Oscillot's Pride, it's like the weakest. Blow up lands. Is this another flyer? Or lets us have the flyer? Yeah, you can't really do anything with... Like, we got them this game, which was nice, but... I mean, they have a lot of non-basics. Yeah, that's what I've been finding. It's basically your Dark Ritual deck, your energy deck that has no card advantage and either does crazy things with the Johnny or terrible things. But let's see how we do this one. White Knight's nice. Blow up their lands. You have the Death Ring. I'm doing this because I don't want to fetch to give him the land just yet. Overlord here. Gonna peddler there. Did they just have reanimate on turn? Freaking hell. Love that. Love that. Like it. This is what I mean. Like there's too many non-games in this format where like I didn't even get to play a card. I think I'm over this format. There's no, like, this wasn't interesting. There was no back and forth. It was, do you have it or not? Deathrite just enables it too much. Reanimate gives you too much in that sense. Like, nothing mattered there when we were playing the games. Like, no decision I made in that first turn. Even if I kept interaction, like, you get hit on too many angles that it's actually a fun format. Like, what is I supposed to do? I'm on the play. I had a bunch of it, like, hand hate on turn 2, but none of that would have mattered anyways. So it's... This format's... They need to re-examine what they want the intent of this format. Like, if you want to just play combo, sure, but... Even in the games when we were playing combo, like, it doesn't lead to interesting games. Like, they did a thing. None of it was, like... particularly interesting. And then I'm just doubling down, putting Chrome Mox into this format where it's already... Even then with Spell Pierce, like, they were still so far ahead, right? Like, I need to... The format shouldn't be, if you're on the draw, every step you need to hold a permission. I don't think Chrome Mox should be in this deck. Like, Deathrite Shaman was much better. And then just playing more lands. Like, I think playing that configuration would be a lot better. Chrome Mox was just, they were already so low on spells. Having more 1-drops, they could potentially blank some value. Hey, like, you comboed me. Like, you had it. I had the ways to blow up your lands. I had hand hate, but couldn't deal with your turn 2.